Well, Buckeye fans, it's real, and it did happen. The Ohio State Buckeyes lose in disappointing fashion, 13-10, to the Michigan Wolverines. And this morning, we jump into the film room to take a look at what went right and what went wrong, and figure out what the pathway forward is for the Ohio State Buckeyes as they look to hopefully take this to the first round of the playoffs. All that and more on this film room episode of the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast.
We've got the whole crew together as we cover Ohio State
with our instant analysis from Ohio State.
There's something that doesn't feel right.
Unbelievable effort from him today.
Is E.J. Liddell going to crack the first team All-Big Ten?
I think he can be the guy. I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy.
He seems to have the durability. He certainly has the toughness.
This is the question on a lot of people's minds here.
Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown.
And welcome in, everybody, to the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast. Anthony Moeglin here this morning on a snowy, cold, and disappointing morning as the Ohio State Buckeyes fall to the Michigan Wolverines 13-10. And today we try to put the pieces back together to see where this team goes from here. Really appreciate you jumping in with me this morning here before NFL football. We got a bunch of great games on today. We got Bengals, Steelers coming your way at 1 o'clock. And I'm sure if you're in this show this morning, you're potentially an AFC North fan, or you're just excited to watch Joe Burrow go around and sling that thing around. The Browns, our Cleveland Browns. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. We don't play till tomorrow, so you got plenty of time to watch this before all NFL. So if you got a nice warm cup of coffee, you're watching the snow come down, maybe you got the Christmas tree going up, whatever the case may be, I certainly appreciate you jumping in with me this morning. And before we dive into anything, appreciate everybody watching last night. Got some good feedback on all of our shows that we put together for you last night, from the post-game show to a couple of those quick hitters that I did. And I also appreciate, my mom does as well, appreciates the concern that a lot of you had for Anthony. Put on a warm coat, for God's sakes. I was freezing my butt off, and you can kind of hear I have rewarded myself with a nice little cold. So got that going for me, which is really nice. So this morning, we're diving into to the film room to see what went right, what went wrong. But as we do that, obviously, I'm running solo again here this morning. So jump into that comment section. I'm going to be looking at my screen a little bit more than talking to you, so I'll be able to see some of that comments. And Muggsy, appreciate you always jumping in with us. This is the energy that we need this morning. This is it. Go Buckeyes! Win, lose, or draw. And yes, certainly, there's a lot of conversation swirling about where this Buckeye team is, where this program is, and where do they go from here, and all that will get sorted out. But with the way that things shook out last night, with Texas A&M falling to Texas, and pretty much everything being chalk outside of, and we won't touch on this, but outside of Miami falling to the Syracuse Orange, led by Kyle McCord. We won't talk about that. I'll save that song for another time. Shout out, good for Kyle. It looks like he landed in a great spot for him. But regardless of all of that, Ohio State looks like they are going to be one of those 12 teams that does make the college football playoff. But time will tell, and for sure there will not be a home playoff game, which I know that there was a lot of us be included looking forward to that. So however it may shake out the rest of the way, we do not know. But what we do know is that Ohio State was really bad yesterday, and there's a lot of places that I could point to where you'd say, like, hey, this could be better, that could be better, all the things. But one of the big places that continued to stick out to me was let's see if you get me back. You got me back. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. But one of the big places that stood out to me was the play calling. I thought, to put it nicely, it was horrible. And I wanted to make sure my response to it last night wasn't an emotional one of, hey, it was in the heat of the moment, and maybe after going back and watching it, like, maybe give Ryan Day and Chip Kelly the benefit of the doubt. That certainly, in my opinion, is not where I landed on this one, because Ryan Day kind of defending it and saying, hey, we need to run the football. No, yesterday, to run the football and to establish the line of scrimmage, yes, certainly you got to do that early on in the game. But it was very, very clear in the second quarter. It was pretty clear to everybody watching that Michigan was dominating the line of scrimmage. They were dominating things up front, and we just kept force feeding it. And what was the result of that? The result of that was Will Howard is in disadvantageous situations. Will Howard is having to drop back on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. And when your quarterback is continually having to do that, makes it really, really challenging for him. So I thought play calling was horrible. I thought execution wasn't very, very good. Thought the pass game was good. That's what we said yesterday, what I said yesterday, what a lot of folks have said to this point. But I thought the pass game was actually pretty strong, and they just refused to go to it consistently. But all that said, you can't really change the outcome at this point. Oh, sorry about that. I'm clicking around here, all the wrong buttons on my side here. But you can't really change it at this point. And where we kind of get things going is on the first drive. We knew that Ohio State was going to be had the advantage in the pass game. Davis Warren, walk-on quarterback, the best receiver for Michigan was Colston Loveland. He was not playing in the game. The next best receiver had like 300 yards receiving on the year. So it was not one that you thought that Ohio State's defense was going to be able to totally shut down the pass game and then just have to focus mostly on the run game. But on the first drive of the game, what does Michigan do? They convert on a nice little 3rd and 5. And this one was not a big deal. You get a little pressure, force Warren to step up in the pocket. You get a little interior pressure. Looks like Ty is in there making it happen. But a nice throw, a nice catch, and just a kind of a good start for Michigan. Not an area of concern, right? And, like, this is how excited they are, right? Like, watch 81 here. Like, hey, we completed a pass. Like, let's go. Like, it's the first drive of the game. And it is it's one that, hey, they probably weren't expecting to complete more than 2 or 3 passes in the game. But what do they do? What do they do next? Your next 3rd down, we got 3rd and 4. And now this play that you're going to see, Ohio State's defense has gotten better and better and better as the years gone on. And that started with being the best group in the country, and they've continued to just improve. And I thought they were really good yesterday. I mean, truth be told, they gave up 7 points that started with the 1st and goal, and they gave up 6 points the rest of the way, including a 54-yard field goal. So they played their tails off. I thought they played pretty well, and this was a good start on it. So it's 3rd and 4, and you're going to get what I used to call tornado or hurricane, where you just get all these crossers. And Ohio State's been known to play man-to-man coverage a lot, and it looks like man-to-man. At the pre-snap, it looks like you're getting man here. This would tip me off, right? As a quarterback, this would tip me off. There's nobody covering this guy, and it looks like it could be man here. So the corners are telling me man, but all the rest of these cats inside are telling me zone. So the route that they have on is that tornado concept, where you're going to get a shallow cross here by the boundary guy, and then you're just going to get a flood of guys coming across the field just to pick that. Truthfully, if it was man-to-man coverage, it'd be to get in Davis and Igbenoson's way. Well, instead, Ohio State drops out of it, and you see all the crossers. Look, crosser, crosser, crosser. All of them are trying to get in the way. But problem is, the guy defending the catch radius, or the catch zone, I should say, for number 17 is Denzel Burke. So he's right here sitting in zone. And this one, I think Denzel has a chance to just absolutely light him up. I think back to Denzel Ward's play a few years ago, right when Gus Johnson called it, well, coming to the barbecue or whatever he said when he lit the dude from Maryland up. But Denzel has a kill shot opportunity. I don't care that he doesn't make it. He gets the tackle down and forces a punt. So a really nice play there. And now watch this drive here. We flip it back over to the Ohio State offense, their first drive of the game. And what you see here is just they're going to pass it down the field. This is a route concept that I absolutely love. It's called Hank. Okay, you get one guy over the ball, 2 curls and 2 flats. It's really simple here. They're going to do a switch release where you're going to get over the ball here, and then you're going to get a curl on the outside, a little bit deeper, curl here, and then you got guys occupying the flat. All right, and how you are taught as a quarterback to read this is you don't see that there's two guys in the middle of the field. Here's a linebacker and here's a linebacker. You start your eyes in the middle on your tight end, and then if one of those guys squeezes to that Hank route over the middle, you turn your flip your hips to that side to hit the curl route. So watch, you're gonna get, I can't get a number on that backer, but ends with a 5. It's right on my cursor right here. He's standing right on the 45. He's one of the 2 linebackers. He squeezes to the Hank route. He's over top of it. Bang. Will does a nice job, flips his hips, and sees Carnell in that window. Bang. Perfect throw, perfect catch. 2nd and 1, move the sticks. All right, good start. We push it all the way down the field. And now You get 3rd and 5, and you're getting a man coverage look. All right, you're getting a man there, and then Emeka actually right here had come in motion. So he started here, and he ran across the formation just like this. His guy's trailing him, so you know this is man-to-man coverage. I like the route. I think Michigan does a nice job covering it up because they do this like inverse whip route here where Emeka fakes like he's going to the outside and then brings it in, and number 7 just kind of eats it up, right? Just eats it up. Will's going to force it there. Truth be told, I am kind of okay with that, right? When you get man-to-man coverage, you know you're getting some kind of pressure. Michigan does kind of heat it up a little bit. They bring 4, actually. I should take that back. But Emeka's your best player, and you think you're going to win on this. This is a timing throw, so you got to be on time, on target. He just gets kind of choked up there, but it's okay. It's first drive of the game. You just need points, so that's fine. Don't force it. You get the belt strap in there. All right, no worries there. Let's kick the field goal. Go up 3 points. Ohio State goes up 3 points, and now gives the ball back to the Michigan Wolverines here. And what do? Right? They go after Denzel Burke right away. Again, passing it. They're trying to pass it a little bit just to try to break a little bit of tendency. But Denzel, man, oh man, I talked at length last year about what I thought about him as a player, and I thought he was kind of the leader of this Ohio State team, leader of the group. And he's kind of had a really disappointing season, and Michigan gets him on a nice little route here. This is a tight end who motions out. He came across the formation, motioned out, and kind of pushed into a little into the boundary, and then broke one off right in front of Burke's face, and gets some nice separation, and throws it. And truth be told, Warren throws a really nice ball, move the sticks on number 10. It's not been his best year. And now this was one I put in here. It's a simple run play here, but they get 7 yards. And this was what Michigan was trying to do. They did a lot to Ohio State. They went with what's called 22 personnel. So when you hear the personnel be talked about, like 10 personnel, 12, 22, 23 personnel, all that indicates is the number of running backs on the field and the number of tight ends on the field. And then what you do from that point, you subtract, you go 5 minus that number to get the number of receivers. So if it's 10 personnel, there's 4 receivers on the field, right? 5 minus 1 is 4. So in this case, it's 22 personnel. There's 2 running backs, right? Running back 1, running back 2, and then 2 tight ends. Tight end 1, tight end 2. And what does that mean for the entire class? 5 minus 4 is 1. You get 1 wide receiver out top. All right. So why I bring all that up, this is a heavy formation. This is a heavy package. Oftentimes you see this high formation or whatever the case is. But on 2nd and 9 in the first quarter, Ohio State, to defend this 22 personnel, has 2 safeties in the game. I hate this. I absolutely do not like this at all, where you got secondary guys, but you see it looks like Lathan's there at the bottom. He's kind of in the box there. So it kind of gives 9 guys in the box, and then you're going to double up this receiver. If it were me, I'd be throwing the house at it and force Davis Warren to beat you. And if he does, tip of the cap to him. But I would not be giving up 7 yards a pop when they do go into that 22 personnel, just because, we don't want to get more big guys in. And where I also said, and excuse me here, where I also mentioned some things in the past is like, hey, one of the things I love about the Ohio State safety room is that they can do a bunch of different things. They can play down by the line of scrimmage. They can play linebacker. They can almost play. We've seen Caleb Downs blitz off the end of the line of scrimmage, but also they can play in the post. Now, today it was a detriment because Michigan's guys up front were able to kind of bully them, right? They were able to kind of really push it and make it really, really challenging, right? Colt Mullings, finished the day 119 yards on 32 carries, right? He kind of led the way for the Wolverines in the backfield and was just kind of chunk after chunk. But it wasn't crazy. It was a very old school type of vibe and type of feel for that Michigan run game. As I'm pulling up the stats here, right? Mullings 32 carries for 116 yards, 1 touchdown. That's 3.6 yards. Pop Orgy had 3 carries for 32 yards. Davis Warren 1 for 11. Donovan Edwards 4 for 11. Jordan Marshall 1 for 3. So nobody in the negatives, right, including their quarterbacks. It finished the day 41 carries for 173 in the lone touchdown of the day. And so here we go. Now we got 3rd and 3 here, and this is where stuff starts to roll downhill a little bit for the Michigan Wolverines. Alex Orgy subs into to play quarterback. Now, we all know that when Orgy comes in, it is a run play. All right, it is absolutely a run play. Ohio State, knows this as well. You get 2 receivers out there. right? They're hardly respecting it. One-on-one, you got Denzel Burke up top, you got Davis and Igbenogson down below, and then you got 9 guys in the box. Love this. Now, the problem is this becomes a big play because right here, you get Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles in the same gap, okay? When you get 2 guys in a gap, you're not gap disciplined, okay? So Sonny tries to blow up this blocker, does his job, but Caleb fills inside, okay? So when Caleb fills inside like this, okay, you lose edge contain. When you lose edge contain, Orgy jumps outside, and when there's nothing left, right, there was 9 guys in the box, there's nobody left, Orgy off to the races. Now, what I will say, and I talked about it last night, I think Caleb Downs is a superstar. He fits up in the run. He pushes 44 back, right? And Orgy, he's going, Caleb's going this way, and Orgy's going full speed ahead the other direction. But who chases him down? Caleb gets on his horse, and look at this, just hawks him down from the back. Saves a touchdown, but a huge play for the Wolverines. All right, fast forward a little bit. Here's the end of the first quarter. Now, that's another thing that makes it really challenging to play the University of Michigan is they're going to shrink the football game. Ohio State had 1 possession in the first quarter, 1, right? It was a long possession, go down, kick the field goal. This is the last play of the first quarter. It's 3rd and 8. Hey, and when you want to complete an upset, sometimes you got to make a little magic happen, right? Warren rolls out and throws the ball, nice little diving catch, setting up a 4th and 1. And I liked it up front. Ohio State brings the heat, right? They bring a blitzer, Caleb off the edge, Sonny kind of wrapping around, or excuse me, Cody wrapping around. You're going to get a rush here. Cody wraps around right here, and you get Caleb off the edge. Running back goes and takes Caleb, and it would have been a free runner right there for Cody had the quarterback stepped up in the pocket. Instead, he gets outside, delivers a shot, and now sets up a 4th and 1. All right, at the end of the first quarter, let's jump in here, see if there's any comments that we want to pull up. We got an enemy in here. Mike, I know you're having some fun in there, but appreciate you jumping in and watching it. Mr. Bucknuts, you're our guy. You're in here a lot, so appreciate you jumping back in here this morning. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think we were very uncreative yesterday. Should have aired it out more. Had our kicker made those field goals, we win the game. Yeah, you're so right. Special teams, we talked about it yesterday at the in my post-game show. It's like special teams in these big games, these matchup style games are incredibly important. And our special teams missed 2 field goals. Their special teams made 2 field goals and made a 54-yarder. Like that was truthfully the difference there. And yeah, totally agree with that. But yeah, Mr. Bucknuts, bring you up again. Bad loss, but we made the playoffs. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to have to go on the road, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging, I do think. But we'll see where it shakes out. If you have to go on the road to Notre Dame, I think you like that matchup. If you have to go on the road to Penn State again, maybe in Happy Valley, I like that matchup. It's going to be a little bit different of a vibe, though. I do believe I don't know if this is 100% right or not, but I think the whole playoff is on ESPN, so that will change some things for sure because it will be you'll be able to get a couple night games in there. I think the time's already established. So while that is a very small thing, I do think it is important there. All right, here we go. Let us jump into the second quarter because it gets off on the right foot for the Buckeyes, and this is where everybody in the stadium, I know myself included, thought, okay, after this play, and we'll run the play here, Caleb Downs, superstar Caleb Downs, right? Bang. I don't know why Caleb Mullins, he does it later in the game, but he leaves his feet. And why he does it, I don't know. But this is like a carbon copy. This exact same play happens on the final drive of the game, and there was a different result there for the Wolverines. But Caleb stuffs him. Mullins leaves his feet, and it stuffed him on 4th down. And I thought, okay, the Buckeyes got all of the cobwebs out. They've settled into the game. And they're going to attack this thing and really take it over. This is kind of where I thought that was going to happen. But again, I talked about the emotional letdown last night. Some of you agree with me, some of you didn't. And again, I appreciate you jumping in and letting me know your thoughts. I got one guy asking for my address so he could probably plant a flag and maybe do some other things in my to my house. But while those do make me laugh, I appreciate it. I'm not concerned at all. I appreciate everybody jumping in and letting me know what they think. But regardless of that, they never got off this emotional roller coaster. And when you do that, you make bad decisions just like this. Ohio State coming out, one thing you can't do, it's 3rd and 9. All right, if you're going to throw an incompletion here, in my mind, all right, if I'm in Will Howard's position, I'm back in my quarterback days. I'm in the shadow of my own goalpost. My feet are in the paint. I'm looking at one guy, and if he's open, I throw it to him. If he's not open, I throw it into the 30th row of the stands, and I don't take a sack because also that's a safety. Also, too, if you move up the pocket or kind of skirt around and your offensive line holds in the end zone, that's also a safety. Any penalty committed in the end zone is a safety, so you got to keep that in mind. So I'm on one guy, and if he's open, great. If not, I'm throwing the thing away. We're punting it away, and we live to fight. Instead, we are late and inside, okay? You can be one or the other. If you're one of those two things, it's 75% of time an interception. If you're both of them, it is 100% an interception. And we're going to, I think it's Jeremiah here at the bottom. Nope, Carnell at the bottom here. Nothing he can do. I mean, he's running an outcut from the top of the numbers. From the top of the numbers. And we're late, and we're inside, and it hits the Michigan defensive back right in the chest and sets Michigan up with a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. You're like, okay, whatever, Michigan's going to score, and they do so right here. They punch this thing in. You're like, okay, everybody take a breath, settle down. We're good. It's 7-3. Let's get off this emotional roller coaster, right? You know, we talked about it yesterday. They think that this game is everything, but they get on this emotional roller coaster and they just can't get themselves off of it. So first play of the second drive, I love this action. I really love it. We've seen it a couple times where they do you can see a little token fake, right? Where Will sets up for the inside zone and the running back takes a half step in and then hits the outside, and we get a speed option, right? Circa 2014 Madden, or excuse me, 2014 NCAA. But we get a little speed option, and Quinshawn hits the edge. Awesome run. He actually had 3 chunk runs yesterday. And you look at his stats, he finished the day rushing 12 carries for 46 yards, along with 17. But he had 3 chunk runs. I would include this one. I'd include the 17-yarder in a little bit here that we're going to see. And then also there was a third one. So when you kind of break it all the way down, it wasn't as efficient. You take out some of those chunk runs by number 1. But on here, awesome job, great play call, and now we're getting creative. All right, I put up that comment. It felt like we were uncreative, but now let's take a look. You got Carnell, who started out here. This is a little bit late in the clip, but he comes in an orbit motion, comes out like this. You're going to get a little action in the backfield just to get – look, there's a little cross action here. You're setting up a nice block inside. It looks like a trap. You're getting no flow. Good job by the Michigan Wolverines. They're dropping back. But what does your athletic quarterback do? He steps up in the pocket and delivers a shot there to Emeka Egbuka. I think this is awesome. This is a good play call. And guess what? We're trusting the pass, right? It's the second quarter. Let's drop back and throw it. Emeka's running open over the field. Look at this. We look like the Ohio State Buckeyes that everybody's used to. And now we're getting things going. Okay. This is where I referenced this sequence here last night where I was really confused by how Ohio State's team players and everybody were handling it. So we rip one out to Jeremiah. First of all, I know it's just a hitch, but I mean, this dude catches literally everything. He's unbelievable. Hopefully to keep him here in Columbus for a while. So we get a little scuffle. All right, we throw him out. I think that's fine. I think both guys are just battling, right? No blood. It wasn't a dirty play. It wasn't a dirty tackle, but you get Jeremiah in the Ohio State bench, and then a big scuffle breaks out. It looked like a Michigan coach kind of push Jeremiah or push somebody. A scuffle breaks out, whatever. You get offsetting personal foul penalties, no harm, no foul. We continue. All right, Will Howard, read option. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Great play here, okay? Great play here. It's really tough to read, to have this play up and have your read guy, who's this guy right here, be so wide. Normally you'd like him. This is the tight end, mind you. Okay, we got center, guard, tackle, tight end. All right, so he's like what they call a wide 9. Okay, 9 technique is when you're on the outside shoulder of the end on the line of scrimmage. And then to move it out further, they call it a wide 9, where you get some of those pass rushers like the Bosa brothers, right? You get to see Joey and Nick get in that like track stance, look like a Jaguar on the field, getting ready to go. They bump out. Myles Garrett does the same thing. Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt, all those guys, they do this wide 9 technique. So when you're running read option into it, it makes it really hard because this guy's screaming, right? He's screaming downhill. If you give this, he's going to make the tackle. And truthfully, if it were me, I'd pull it too, right? But because he's coming from such a wide position, he's able to put the brakes on, stop and read it. And Will does get to the outside of him. He really does. He gets outside of him, but he's at 1 yard and this guy's making the tackle. Where the big hit comes is from the safety position. And when you slow it down, it's not dirty. I don't think this is targeting, right? He goes shoulder to it ends up being Will's back. He's not trying to hit him in the head, right? So I don't think it's targeting, but Will does get banged up. This is a big hit. This is a big time shot. All right. And it's one that that kind of bangs Will up a little bit. All right. He lays down on the field, and he has to come out of the game. So what happens next? Well, Devin Brown comes in, and they get in this tush-push looking formation. You get G. Scott. I thought it was Travion, but it's G. Scott here, Quinshawn here. And instead of doing the QB sneak, you hand it to Travion, and he goes up the left side. All right, he goes up the left side and makes a nice gain, right? Breaks a tackle here, and now the crowd is rolling, right? The crowd is rolling. He's all pumped. And then Michigan ends up calling a timeout. And then you look, and the entire offense line, Josh Fryer's down there doing one of these guys. Will Howard grabs his helmet out of the blue tent. He's pumping up the crowd. And everybody's pumping things up. And this is where I was like, wait a second. Like, what are we – we got to drive to finish, right? We didn't take the lead. We got a 10-yard gain. We got a 12-yard gain, right? Awesome, right? 4th and 1. Great. Yes, high fives. Let's go. Back in the huddle. Reframe your mind because you can't ride that wave, man. You just cannot do that up and down thing because what happens, right? You get too emotionally you start going crazy. Will comes into the game. Now watch this. Now I wish we had the back view of it because we miss a touchdown here, right? It's 2nd and 11. So we ran it on first, surprise, and lose a yard. And now you're going to get this crosser by Emeka, and you're going to have a vertical route up top. And now I wish we had the all 22 because we're going to run it here, and I'm going to explain it to you. Right now, the ball should be flying to the number 2. The ball should land right here, and there is an opportunity, and he's looking right at it. There's an opportunity to catch and run up the field. Now, if Will told me, hey, we saw the corner squatted, and when I say squatted, the corner squatted down, and instead of covering deep on this ball right here, he squatted down and played that like cover 2 look. Well, if that's the case, if this is truly the case, and I don't sense that from right here, you can kind of see at the top of the screen, like he's got man tendencies or deep zone tendencies. But if Will said, hey, corner was outside of him, then that ball needs to be put on the Fox Big Noon Saturday right here for a touchdown because the safety is not getting there. He's too shallow. Okay, so it's one or the other. It's either you throw a touchdown deep up the left side or you hit Emeka on a crosser. Instead, we get off of it completely. Will takes off to run. Mind you, he dives straight ahead. I don't want to say he's concussed, but he just got banged up 2 plays later. He hits the ground and has to shake off another big hit, setting up a 3rd and 4 in which Ohio State runs a smash concept to the bottom of their screen, and we throw it out of bounds. Okay, so we just got everybody excited. Woo, like we're going crazy. This is awesome. We got a first down on a drive to the 6-5 Michigan Wolverines. And why are we going insane? Because we just miss. We MA on an easy drop back completion, and then we miss on a throw here. And then guess what? We set up for a 38-yard field goal, and we miss it. So we take this huge emotional spike, right? It's the biggest game ever. We talked about this. We did the sit-ups. We did TTUN week. We did the mirror light, all of the things. And we missed a field goal because we got too excited. And that's the way that it is. So what happens next? That wasn't the end of the half. So here we go. This is Michigan's now ensuing drive, right? And it's a field goal. Michigan pushes it down the field. Here we go. 3rd down. And this is probably one Michigan had schemed up, right? Where you see this pin and pull action, right? Where this is a tight end. He blocks down. This tight end is pulling on the outside. This tackle following him, doing the same. But when you go laterally against Ohio State, they're too fast. Look, we got guys in there, Sonny Styles, and then look at this cat. Whoever gets him to play on Sundays is going to have a nice safety because guess who makes the play at the line of scrimmage? Caleb Downs. Guess where he started? Right here. That is sick stuff. Number 2 is fantastic. So Michigan punts the ball. They punt it into the end zone, and we get a 2-minute drive to start. I'm going to take a drink here because this is a really important possession. Because watch this. Ohio State throws it all the way down the field. 2nd down. Okay, 2nd and 10. What's the quarterback's rules on 2-minute drill? Get a completion. Doesn't need to be a first down. Let's just get the thing rolling. All right. Throws it 5 yards to G. Scott. G gets out of bounds. Great. Now let's use tempo. All right. Remember, we watched this. Ohio State looked like old Chip Kelly days where they were speeding it up. All right. Awesome. Watch this route. Everything to this point, every time out of the slot, Ohio State receivers have been doing this, have been shutting it down, have been doing this. But on this route here, Emeka gives a little stutter right here and then brings it across the middle. And Will does an awesome job finding him. All right, you see it, breaks inside. Bang, look at this. Look at that window. Good throw, good catch. All right, watch 2, get vertical. Bang, perfect, awesome, 50-yard line. Now we're rolling, okay? Tempo. Good completion here. Good. Will's feeling it. He's not thinking. He's just dropping back to throw the football. He's not thinking. Okay, similar concept. We call that Hank concept, right? We get to it in a different way. You bring Emeka in motion. He comes across the field. He's that flat guy. G over the middle. Oops, sorry. Get G over the middle here. You get up here. You get into the flat here, and then you get a curl there. So it's the same concept. You get to the same spaces, do it in a different way. Nobody attacks. Nobody guards. He could have thrown it either way. He could have thrown it to G right there. Instead, he goes outside to Jeremiah. Awesome catch. Awesome completion. And now we're really going. Okay, things are moving. 2nd and 8. We drop back. Pump fake. Let's go. Throw this thing up to 4. Now we get a PI. This is a I think Will, like I said yesterday, Will, I like him. He's a good quarterback. This is a horrible throw. Like, this is a really bad miss. Give your guy a chance. Yes, you get PI, and yes, it works out great. But, like, look where this thing misses. I mean, it's hardly – like, this ball needs to be thrown, like, right now. The ball should be flying, and it needs to land about right here to give number 4 the chance to make one of those spectacular plays. Instead of it landing here and throwing it earlier, we land it here. And thankfully, we get a PI. If the defender would have got his arms or his head back around, it could have been an opportunity for an interception. All right, instead, let's go. Set up 1st and goal. Excuse me, 1st and goal from the 10. Let's go back to number 4. Mind you, he just turned 18 a couple days ago. Watch this route here. Watch this route here. This is a grown man, Randy Moss-looking route. He just, like, initially on the field, I was like, oh, they're going to call PI. But after we watched it back, like, I mean, this wasn't even – I called it a bench press last night. Like, this was just like a bang, forearm shimmy, right? He just, with one right arm, throws this dude by. Watch this. Boom, get off me. And that's with one arm. I'm 18 years old. I'm going to be the best receiver of all time. Look at this. We're in the crib. We're in the house. We passed it all the way down the field, used tempo, used everything. This worked. If I would have went into halftime, I would have said, we are coming out in tempo packages, and we are going to have to get a little bit away from the run. Don't abandon it quite yet. But we're throwing this thing. We're throwing a rock because it's successful. Look, Travion pumped. Everybody's hyped. Let's go. All right, that was the first half. Let me take a quick break here. Get a sip of water. Looks like we've got some good conversation going on in the comment section. So again, appreciate everybody jumping in. This one I want to bring up right now for everybody here. Day is what, like 2-7 in top 5 games. It's not great. It's not great for him. And this video today is not about the coaching discussion. I'll be doing another one of those later today. But what I do encourage everybody to do, if you're an Ohio State fan, if you're a Michigan fan in here, again, thank you for jumping in and watching. Thank you, Mr. Bucknuts, for the correction. But if you're an Ohio State fan in here, jump over to our website right after this video or when you're done here. SI.com. It's going to come right below me here. SI.com/college/Ohio State. My one of our guys, Spencer German. If you're in the Cleveland area, you've listened to him on the radio. You've heard him. You've heard him on a bunch of different things, covering all of Cleveland sports, and he writes for us on Ohio State. But he has a very interesting potential coaching option for the Ohio State Buckeyes if they do decide to go away from Ryan Day. And I won't give up the name, but one hint, it would be a golden hire for the Buckeyes. So jump in there, go read his stuff. I think it's great. We're going to do some content on that coming later today and into the week here, now that we don't have a game to prep for. So, all right, second half. It's 10-10. Similar thought I had after the start of the second quarter. Okay, Ohio State's going to wake up. They're going to wake up at some point, and now's the time. You play a horrible half, one of your worst halves. You take Michigan's best punch, and guess what? You're tied. Okay, it's 10-10, and now we start going. Unfortunately, the opening kickoff, we don't return it, and we get it, or it bounces short and it spins back. Looked like looked like a Kevin Weike wedge shot from 85 yards out where it hits and checks and rips back. But we end up recovering it, and it starts our drive way backed up. But an awesome completion coming out, okay? On time, on target. Again, it's that similar concept. It's that Hank concept, okay? Look, we get Emeka. You can run it from any formation. You can run it to any guy, okay? You get Emeka. Sometimes I don't have the best control here. Emeka over the ball, JJ up here, Carnell right like this, G in the flat here, and then you're getting a check and then release into the flat. So running back checks blitz, picks up, helps, perfect. All right, nobody covers Emeka, right? He gets in, he finds that soft spot. Will on time, on target, throw it to number 2. Anytime you throw it to number 2, good things are going to happen. First down, Buckeyes. All right, third down. 3rd and 7. We're punched out just a little bit. Awesome design here. This was fantastic, okay? All game long, we've been really pushing things vertically. All right, you're getting a vertical pass here, okay? You're getting Carnell to just run off inside, and then you're getting these guys coming across the field just like this. But what the sneaky one is that Trey goes and checks and then just jumps right out into the flat, and nobody accounts for him. All right, nobody accounts. It almost felt like screenish to me. I remember watching this like screen, but nobody was out there blocking. We get a nice pancake, shout outs. Bang, look at this. Look at this. Bang, right here. Donovan Jackson, awesome stuff. Shout out to Kevin. We get a little line talk this morning. All right, so it felt like screenish to me. So Travion catches it, turns, and there ain't nothing left, right? Team coaches are going crazy. Everyone's like, yes, run. Great job, great play. And this drive started at the 5-yard line. It is now on the plus 41, and the Bucks are rolling. Okay, now we get 3rd and 7, right? Similar idea to what we last saw, or not what we last saw. We saw a couple plays ago where Emeka, instead of running some kind of a corner or outcut or curl, he's going to try to curl behind the defender and get into that in cut, that dig route is what we call it. So he does a nice job off the line, stacks, and he's open, right? But we get pressure inside. Okay, watch the offensive line up front. Hinsman just totally whiffs. Okay, totally whiffs up front. Watch 75. You see him. Watch this matchup right here, and we just get a total whiff. And now we have a free runner. If Will can stand in there and step into this, it is a big completion for the Buckeyes, right? It's big completion there. Instead, he has to throw it with anticipation, and he floats it, and whoa, we get away with one. Whoa, that's not what you're looking for, especially after all that momentum's been built up, and we just missed. If that ball's out a little bit, even if it's right here, right, Emeka catches that and is able to complete the first down. Instead, it gets tipped up in the air, and Ohio State is forced to punt. Now, we skip Michigan's drive. They just go 3 and out. Okay, again, there's about 8 minutes, something left. And if you look down here, I have the top of the score bug, but a little bit of time left here in the 3rd quarter. All right, let's go. Let's go. It's time now. We can't wait any longer. Okay, we're going to start this drive on a run. Awesome play. A little trap action is what they call it. So you abandon this guy. You force him to rush upfield, and he gets he just gets wham blocked. Right like this, and then you get a puller inside, just like this. This is a trap, okay? Trap, set up a really nice block. Boom, great block, good contact there. And then it allows the center to get up to the 2nd level, and then you get 2nd level by Josh Fryer. It's a great scheme. It's well blocked. Quinchon hits it hard. Boom, finishes with some authority there at the end of the play. Awesome start. And now 3rd and 5, so we're driving 25-yard line. Okay, this is a great throw and a great catch. Okay, this is awesome. So we stack here, put these, we have Jeremiah here and Emeka here, and it puts these guys in a bind. Okay, you never want to defend man-to-man coverage out of these stacks. So what they do, they don't really adjust it at all. The first guy locks up with Jeremiah, and the second guy is guarding from distance. And why that's tough is right here, because he gets run into traffic. He can't get through. Emeka, awesome outcut. And what's really hard about this, accurate football. This is a tight window throw. This is one where you have to be really precise, because Emeka has to catch this on the run, but he also has to have time to get down and get up the field to get this first down. Awesome execution on all sides. We move the sticks. Okay, inside the 10-yard line. Let's look at this. Inside the 20. Okay, you need to score here. Good run to start it. Okay, awesome pull. Travion, best run of the game, gets 7 yards. This feels good. Okay, good run, good blocking inside. We move it back. All right, one thing you just totally and it hurts me to be here right now saying this. You cannot throw an interception here. And there's a couple of reasons why I think this happens. 3rd and 7. You need points. At this point in the game, this isn't about, I think there was a clip running around where Will said he's going to go for 3 instead of 2. What Woody Hayes said, they're going to try to run it up. All that is out the window. We're just trying to win the football game. You need points any way that you can get them. So if you have to throw it away, you have to throw it away. Sometimes the best decision is an incompletion. And Ohio State comes out, Carnell with this inside corner route. I think they're initially looking to double Emeka with this safety, but Emeka drops it short. And it's going to go on, I think, is a choice route. Let me undo this. So I think what it looks like to me is some kind of a choice route where he gets up and he can break out to the left, he can break out to the right, or he can drop it down. So it's a communication route. Meanwhile, Carnell comes inside on a spray release and then gets out to the corner. Call that like a star corner route. So you see it here. Emeka kind of slow plays off the line. He gets out into an out cut, and then he puts his foot in the ground and is like, hey, dude, I'm open. Like, look at this green space, like right here. Boom, right here. Look at this. I'm open. But Will throws it to where he was, not where he's going. And where he was is where the cornerback's at. Boom, steps right in front of it. Catch, tuck, roll. Horrible. Like, this is as bad as it gets. This one is, again, this is bad. Like, this can't happen. You're in scoring range. Even if you spike this thing into the ground, you're at least kicking a field goal, okay? You're at least attempting to get points. But instead, we throw it behind to where he was, not where he's going. Not only do you not convert, you turn the thing over, and all momentum is with Michigan. But what does Michigan do? Okay, I talked about it last night. If you haven't seen it, go to my quarterback show after the game. We talked about both quarterbacks and their performances. I thought both of them were not very good. And what you see here is an awful mistake here by Davis Warren and a good play by Caleb Downs. I should say a good catch. He really doesn't do much in the play, but it's a really nice catch here. So you see Caleb starting right here. He drops out into coverage, basically to right here, and Warren just kind of flips one. Oh boy, getting stuck here. There we go. All right, and then Warren just kind of flips this ball out, and you see it. He just flicks it, and it misses his target. But unbelievable catch there by Caleb Downs. What I say last week, he could play offense. He could be doing what Travis Hunter's doing if he wanted to. Right? He took that punt return back last week, makes an unbelievable catch there. And now you're like, the place went crazy. I remember I was walking towards to the media room to get set up for post game, and you just hear this, like, there's like, you can tell the cheers. If you've been there, if you guys were at the game yesterday, you can tell that what happens based on the cheers, right? And like, you can tell when it's a good play, when it's a Michigan good play, or Ohio State good play, and then you can tell when it's a great play. All right, and the loud shriek almost sound, that's the word that comes to my mind, was crazy. And Caleb picks it off. And now, again, Ohio State set up 1st and 10 inside the 20. And again, you have new life, all right? Erase that interception from your mind. You have to score here. And what do we do on 3rd down? Now, this is interesting. I go back and forth on this because initially I was like, what the heck? 3rd and 10, why are we running a draw? What are we doing? But now that I rewatched, literally this thought just came to my mind. I was like, oh, we just threw an interception on 3rd and 7. I can't trust my quarterback to drop back. And Ryan Day was saying, I just need points. We just need points here. So I was going to say something. You can see my note up here, 3rd and 10 draw, question mark. This is actually fine, I think, by Ryan Day. Run a draw. If he breaks it, great. If he doesn't, fine. I know the place went crazy with the Boo Birds, but your quarterback just threw an interception in that same spot. What are you going to do? Set up for a field goal. But what happens? We miss the field goal. You got to be kidding me. You can't make that type of stuff up, man. You missed the field goal, and it's just totally a disappointing sequence down in that end zone. That whole end zone was just a weird spot all day. A lot of weird stuff happened there. So we get to the 4th quarter. It's a water break for me. Really appreciate all the content in here. I know that seems like we got a little fight in here. Mike Fort, holy cow, dude. You are, you're fighting the fight for the Wolverines. Thanks for watching the entire time. Yeah, good stuff in here, guys. Thank you guys all for it looks like there's a conversation of coaches in here. I don't mind. if we do get into the conversation, Matt Campbell, Mount Union guy, I'm an OAC guy myself. Did not go to Mount Union. Obviously, it was a John Carroll guy, so I'm not a fan of the Raiders. But I do appreciate Matt Campbell's Ohio guy. Lane Kiffin, that'd be interesting. I think that'd be really, really interesting. So yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching and jumping in here. Well, let's get to the fourth quarter of action. All right, here we go. Michigan starting off. This is where everything started to feel really odd. All right, they're getting this big long drive here, and this is where this play, it's third down. Look at the scenario. And Ohio State gets good pass rush. Okay, JT wins immediately. Jack wins, but he wins inside. Watch his rush here. This is often typical. You know, you can't give up edge contain. This is shocking here. He comes up the field, wins inside. JT wins right away, but Davis is able to escape because Jack loses the edge. Right, Jack loses the edge right here. Warren gets outside. That's bad rush. That's bad rush integrity there. And when Warren gets to the outside, he steps and throws, and like this is a circus catch. I don't have the back view of it, but when you zoom in and watch it, he like dove, caught it like way out to his right, and made an unbelievable grab to move the sticks. And now you're like, uh-oh, something's weird about this. This has a bad feeling, and everybody inside Ohio Stadium was starting to get pretty tense. Okay, next play. Warren drops back to pass. Sonny kind of runs with, and this is okay, like he runs with his crosser, and then when his crosser leaves the zone, he walls up and looks for work over the middle. Good with it, but there's no work coming, and Warren sees it. Sonny abandoned that zone. He takes off for a massive gain, and now Michigan's driving inside the 30. What do? They've run it all game long, all game. They go with a little trickeration. Orgy comes in. Okay, every time Orgy's in the football game, that's a run. Similar look here. You got 9, let's give it 8 guys in the box, and then the safety's kind of outside of the box, but 2 guys on the outside, no help over top. Orgy comes in, pitches it to the receiver, who takes it, drops it, and truthfully, Burke is beat right here. He's beat right here. We got space here. If 12 throws this ball right now, they have an opportunity. Instead, he takes 2, 3, 4 extra steps and throws it, misses short. If Denzel gets his head around, he picks this thing off. I'm not saying he should have, but at this point, you're like, I've said it a couple times. You're like, oh shit. This is an oh shit moment where you just take off and run and like literally go tackle the guy and don't let him score. Remember in college, it's a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul like it is in the NFL. So anything that he can do to not make the touchdown, I think is fine. But that sets Michigan up with 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. This is shocking. This was shocking to me. And I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of it. If you have a good quarterback, I'm fine with this. But you've run it all game long. You get down here, it's Michigan football, is punching in. They decide to go trickeration, their version of trickeration, and go play action and sneak their tight end into the flat here. You get a deep over. And this was wide open. It was well schemed, well called, just horrible execution, right? Look at this. It is wide open. You put this thing, if Warren puts this thing right here, it is a touchdown. Instead, he just rips it. I've done it 100 times. This is one where it's a wide open layup, and it's sometimes the hardest one because you overthink it. But he keeps it flat. And Jack Sawyer, I don't know the rules of the defense here, but I think he just recognizes like, hey, I'm not getting there. I'm not going to be able to get into this mess or get the quarterback. Like, I don't know. And maybe he sees the tight end dropping back. It doesn't look initially like he's supposed to drop into coverage, but maybe he's just reading the quarterback's eyes. It's like, hey, I'm not going to sack you. But what I can do is just try to break this pass up. And instead of breaking the pass up, he picks this thing off. What an unbelievable play. Hilarious call, too, by Gus Johnson. It sounded like he was going absolutely insane up in the box. But, like, talk about one here. I was actually walking from the press room to, like, I have a spot. One of the guys on the concourse or in the student section kind of lets me stand every game to watch a little bit of it before I have to get upstairs. And I was walking to my spot, and I just heard the loudest, shrieky sounding cheer of all time. I was like, uh-oh, something happened. And I get out there. I'm like, oh, my gosh, they threw a pick on the 2-yard line. How uncharacteristic of the of the Wolverines. So now we're in crunch time. Let's go on a 90-yarder and see what we can do. So Trey, love this run here, but disciplined defense by Michigan. I thought when this happened right here, I thought Trey was going to have an opportunity to break one and make a big gain out of it, but Michigan closes fast. Jeremiah doesn't do a great job on the corner. Corner makes a nice play, and instead of it being a massive gain, it becomes just a 5-yarder. And now we drop back to pass, and no pressure at all. Will's got plenty of time. Stand in there. All right, we miss inside. Travion gets beat. Now it's time to go. Will breaks. I don't know how you missed this one. I don't know how he breaks this tackle, but he does. He breaks the tackle. He's taking off. This is good. Good decision. Good run. Just a little bit short. 4th and 1. And almost had it, but didn't get there. So we punt it back to Michigan. All right, I talked about this sequence here, and this one it was shocking to me. Okay, it was absolutely shocking. I think that this one, where you look back and you're like, what in the world was Michigan or excuse me, Ohio State doing? So 2nd and 12. Okay, they lose 2 yards on 1st down, and to most offenses, this is a passing down. Okay, you're expecting some kind of a pass, but in this case against Michigan, they're going to run it. Everybody in the stadium knows. Everybody watching on TV knows that this is a run play. But look what Ohio State's in. This is Lathan Ransom here, so you got all your safeties in. You get 2 linebackers. Here's Sonny. Here's Cody, and then you got, or this maybe not Lathan. Here's Jordan Hancock. Here's Lathan. And one of these guys is Caleb Downs. All right, so you get 2 linebackers and one defensive back safety, but you're in this shell look. All right, you're in a pass coverage. This is not a run defense. All right, and we know Michigan's running. So it's 2nd and 12, and what do? Because you're in a run defense, it looks like that's Sonny. Yep, Sonny Styles gets a little greedy. Instead of filling his gap right here, he gets a little greedy inside, takes 1 step, and Mullings does a nice jump cut and breaks it outside. Tackled at 8 yards by Lathan Ransom. Now, if Lathan or that position was locked up and you had 4 linebackers, this tackle gets made right here instead of it getting made right here. So now, what does that mean? It sets up a 3rd and 6. So again, everybody in the world knows it's a run. Even Ohio State knows it's a run. Look at this. Look at how much different this setup is than the one we just saw. Man here, man here, man here. They're trading off this motion guy, but he's going to come in and block. And Ohio State makes the play, right? Make the play. You got your hands on him. Make the play, tackle. Rally to the football. Uh-oh. Mullings breaks it. Uh-oh. Oh, no. This is horrible. I think this was Tylee. I don't know who this was. And that's a tough play to make, right? You're getting off a block, and the guy's right in front of you. Ball, lands in your lap. Sometimes really tough to make. But when you don't rally to the ball, and maybe we get a little hold there. Michigan gets away with one right on Jack Sawyer as he's trying to, right here's the screen, trying to make the play. He doesn't. Mullings breaks it outside. And now it's like, oh, no, this is as bad as it gets. And it gets worse, okay? 2 timeouts remaining for Ohio State. It's 3rd and 2. There is 1:50-ish left on the clock. If they make this stop here on 3rd and 2, they call a timeout, kick the field goal. You have so much time left. Instead, they have 12 men on the field. Oh, my God. They have 12 men on the field. They can't get the timeout in time. They don't even have to force Michigan to run a play. And this was after a timeout. I don't know. That's really hard. It's hard to justify. Coach Day talked about it in the press conference. He's like, yeah, there's miscommunication. There can't be. This is the biggest moment of the season. This right here is the biggest moment of the season. There can't be a miscommunication. There has to be over-communication. You have to know what's coming. A run is coming. You're going to stop it. They've run the same play 100 times. Looks like you are going to stop it. Look, JT wins on the rep. But they had 12 men on the field, giving them an automatic 1st down. What does Ohio State do? What does Michigan do? Run it up the middle twice, right? Force Ohio State to blow their 2 timeouts, right? Timeout. 3rd and goal. All right, they run it right up the middle. Lathan flies off the edge. Everybody stuffs it up inside. Great. They can't call a timeout. So Michigan snaps it next with 45 seconds left, bangs the field goal through. It's 13-10. Now you have to complete a miracle. You got 40 seconds left. No timeouts, but you've seen crazier in college football for sure. They drop back to pass on 1st down, get a little pressure inside. Will steps up, throws it away. Fine on that 2nd down. Here we go. Will drops back, pressure inside, drops it down to Travion, gain of 1. Not great. All right, 3rd down, still time. 35 seconds left. Stand in there, deliver football. Nope. This is where Ohio State's the offensive line just getting worked inside, getting worked. will escape. At this point, you're like, oh, big one. If he drops it right here, maybe you have something, right? That's hard. He's rolling right. Hard to do, and there's a guy out in front of him. I'm fine with it. Basically throws it away. And now on 4th down, here's the end of the game. Get pressure inside. It's getting worked up. He drops it down. Nobody home, and the Michigan Wolverines upset the Ohio State Buckeyes in just totally incredibly disappointing fashion. 13-10 in a game that you have to feel like Ohio State let it get away. They really did. There's so many opportunities in a lot of those sequences where Ohio State had chances to win. They just did not. They didn't do it. They had bad play calling, bad execution, and primarily a lot of that lies on the offensive side of the ball. As I thought, the defense played pretty good. So. Yeah, I mean, for Michigan, you got to feel solid about. I mean, you got to feel great about that. It really puts a damper on Ohio State season. And I talked about the emotional part of it last night, and like left some details out. Like that clip came out of Ryan Day saying like the loss to Michigan was worse than like every other day. Then the only thing worse was when his father passed away. And it's like that pressure on those kids like mounts up, and you see it come to fruition when plays don't go the right way or things don't happen right. Like you see that stuff kind of come to light. So really frustrating there, and just a bad day, disappointing day for the Ohio State Buckeyes. One that they're going to want back, but we'll have to see how they respond to it. Right, when you lose the biggest, most important game of your season, how do you respond when you got to go on the road to, let's say, Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, or when you got to go on the road back to Happy Valley, or when you got to go on the road to play in Bloomington in the snow? Had a snow game last night against Purdue, or when you have to go to Notre Dame and play on the road, a team that's one of the hottest teams in the country yet. They haven't played anybody yet, but they just beat USC on the road in the Coliseum. Like, what happens when this team has emotional letdown like this, has to respond? What do they do? I guess that time will tell. It certainly will. It certainly will. But yeah, for now, appreciate everybody jumping in and chatting with me this morning, hanging out. Hopefully you had a donut, had some coffee. Hopefully the kids are putting up the Christmas tree and decorating, and you got a little football either going on your phone or you got on the big screen, whatever the case may be. But always a good appetizer before NFL football later today. So if you're in the Northeast or the north part of Ohio, be careful. Big snowstorm coming, so make sure you got everything ready. Get your shovels, got your salt, go to the grocery store, get everything you need, because we're supposed to get ton of snow, at least in the Cleveland area, from tonight through Tuesday. So keep that in mind. In terms of content this week, we're going to have some of our normal shows. We'll be with you on Tuesday for sure, Thursday as well. I think we're going to do a live watch of the college football playoff rankings. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to do, to see where Ohio State kind of shakes out in terms of that. And then we'll get in the conference championship week. We're hoping to be out in Indy, but that's going to change, obviously, as Ohio State will not be there this week. So we will also not be there as well. But doesn't mean you can't subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. And like I said, we got a bunch of content over on the written side. I dropped that story about potential coaching hires. Obviously, you guys got some really good ideas in here, and certainly we'll be having that conversation if the Buckeyes do decide that they need to move on from Ryan Day. But regardless, there's still work to be done. A national championship is certainly still on the table, even after Ohio State loses to Michigan 13-10 on Saturday afternoon. For my entire team at Ohio State Buckeyes on SI, we appreciate you jumping in. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, go over to the other page, read some of our stories. But thank you again for hanging out with me this morning as we recap and watch the tape of Ohio State's disappointing 13-10 loss to the Michigan Wolverines. And we'll be back later in the week on Ohio State Buckeyes on SI.